Hello guys, welcome to another video. I need to turn the Kanye music down. Why am I listening to Kanye, you ask? Because I watched him live in Paris. One of the highlights of the event. This is basically part two to my last video, which is where we went to Paris. I passed $400,000 phase ones and a $200,000 phase two, which was one of those phase ones. I'm still yet to pass the second phase of that second 200K account, but the first one, I've managed to get all the way funded and also make $7,500. So we are going to find out if day funded do pay out. It'll be interesting to see how it is. I'm going to talk through the position as well. Also talk through a bit about the position that passed phase two. But first, we're going to go through the rest of that Paris trip. So after we had that W3FC event, which is my friend Geordie's, alongside his co-founders, we ended up having a bit of a free-for-all with what to do for the next few days. So there's one pretty cool event that we went to, which was a Pudgy Penguins event. Now, I'm not too clued up on this Web3 crypto NFT kind of joint. I've got investments in crypto, but that's pretty much about it. So being in that environment, networking with such amazing people in that space was really, really beneficial. And any one of you guys that are watching it, appreciate meeting you. But yeah, it was basically a really sick event for this Pudgy Penguin, which I believe is an NFT / kids toy to a degree. I don't want to slate it because I don't know it too well. So yeah, do your own research on what it is, but it's a really big project in the crypto NFT Web3 space. For example, Luke Belmar has equity in it and he doesn't really mess around in that kind of space, and he's a big name. So yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be investing in that kind of project if it wasn't something worthwhile. Unfortunately, he wasn't there to meet him myself, but really big fan of his. So cool to get the chance to go to his event, or go to an event that he's invested into, if you get what I'm saying. So that was cool. Free drinks, lovely. Then went to a really cool place, thanks to Andrew, who actually got us a table called, I think it was called Koba, one of the coolest places in Paris to go for clubbing. I got hysterically drunk and forgot what happened the rest of the night, to be honest. So yeah, really cool night. And then the final, I think this more on the final night now, we went to the Kanye West listening party, which is basically Kanye West, Ty Dolla $ign, a few others like Quavo, basically all performed. And I say performed, they weren't actually singing, they were kind of just like dancing. It was like a really cool spectacle, to be honest. Here's some of the shots. But yeah, to see all these songs played in Paris from Kanye was insane. The atmosphere is crazy and it's just an awesome event. Then I had some more time, obviously going to a few bars, chatting with more people. And that was pretty much Paris done. We got a flight home, but obviously during my time in Paris, I took I think 3 or 4 trades, of which I think I lost 1. And the other 3 were really big gainers for passing my phase 2, making a lot of money on the personal. And then I think I might have been home for the last trade actually. So that last trade I'll talk through in a second. And that was a trade that basically made me 7.5K completely risk-free on my end, in the fact that I'm trading with $200,000 worth of capital that isn't my own. So that's why fund accounts are so good. If you don't know what fund accounts are, I would definitely search through my other videos, but to put it bluntly, they're basically through prop firms. Prop firms will offer a demo account to trade with to show that you can trade by passing these challenges. Once past the challenges, they'll give you a live account, which isn't live, it's still on demo, but whatever you make from that account, you'll take 80% of. So for example, day funded, or I think it's day funded, maybe die funded, I spent about 450 quid to get 400K's worth of challenges, which is insanely cheap because it was buy one, get one free, and it was half price, which is ridiculously cheap. So I actually almost don't expect them to pay me out. But I have seen that they've paid out other people, so hopefully they do the same thing. And I'll let you guys know if they do or don't. The reason I actually went with them is because a lot of the people on my Discord were looking to go with them also. I kind of said, it sounds a bit too good to be true. I'll try them out first, make sure they do pay out. So we're at that stage now. So in the next couple of weeks, we'll find out if they do obviously pay out. And if they don't, why that reason is, and if you guys can avoid it if you are gonna go with them. Now this has been a very, very good week for me, or a very good couple of weeks for me trading. This isn't the reality of it. I don't win almost every trade I take. It's just been a very good week, and it's weird because I've been in Paris. I don't want you guys to think that I'm just traveling around the world. Oh, here's a trade, here's that. I mean, it kind of is like that, but it's not at the same time. Like sometimes it'll be losers, and sometimes it's definitely best as a beginner to get in a routine of, I wake up at this time, I do this analysis, I get on the charts at this time, and I trade from my setup. I've done that for 3-4 years, so I kind of know my exact setup. I know exactly when I should be on the charts, etc. So these positions I just did on my MacBook, on my phone, and I backed myself to take the positions. I would say obviously beginner traders, you want to have a comfortable environment that you're comfortable comfortable trading in and that you have your best positions from, if you know what I'm saying. It's all part of a routine, which I believe is helpful. So let's stop waffling on and get straight into the trades. Quickly before we do that, if you haven't already, please do subscribe. We're a very small YouTube channel looking to grow and really kind of put a mark on the Forex space, especially in the UK, and make it a bit more personable as well. So if you do enjoy my videos, please do subscribe. Also follow me on Instagram at robdono and at dons.fx. Thanks guys, let's get straight into it. Okay, so let's go through the trade that made me 7.5 grand on my 200k live account. It's obviously still demo with, I forgot what they're called, die funded, that's the one. So basically it was my standard kind of setup. So I was looking at this area here that was untapped, caused a high amount of selling pressure, and obviously this big fair value gap. Now, what this is actually me being fairly transparent in the fact that I actually got not a very good entry initially, and it was a really weird one. This happens a lot in Forex. It's called inducement basically. So price actually didn't tap the order block, if I put it up correctly. Price didn't actually tap it here, but my initial entry was after this closure of this candle here. After we had the strong impulsive move downwards, I thought it was, because I was fairly zoomed in at the time of execution, I thought, oh, it's tapped it, it's getting the sell off now, cool, let's get in, here's the trade. However, when you actually zoomed out a little bit, I started to realize quickly when I took the trade that it wasn't a it wasn't class A, didn't really come into the POI, if you get what I'm saying. So that normally happens. That normally is for extra liquidity by stopping out people like myself trading it. Luckily, I noticed that. It was only a 0.5% risk anyways. So what I did is I just extended the position slightly to the top of here. So rather than it being a typical 1, I think it was 1 to 4 or something like that, maybe even bigger. There's only 0.5% risk. Must have been a bit bigger than 1.4. I can't remember, it was a very long time ago. I might have got slightly worse than here. I actually extended the stop loss up to here, so it still gave me a good risk to reward. It still gives me around just shy of 3R. And then what I did after this move, so I thought that this was probably going to get taken out as it hadn't actually mitigated the area. But when we saw this, obviously then actually mitigate what we were looking for. Oh, I've got a call. Then we got a nice stronger move. So on the 5 minute, what I didn't like as well is where it changed character. Normally that'd be my confirmation to potentially scale in, but I couldn't do that as it wasn't a very strong close. So like this doesn't really look particularly strong to me. Not loads of selling pressure. Was when you look at the 1 minute, for the second time that actually, well, the time it actually mitigated the POI, we saw this huge sell-off, imbalances, multiple imbalances. So what I did was I scaled in once I had a bit more confirmation from this. So I scaled in on the retest of this area here with a tighter stop loss, and then further targeting this low here. So that one gave me just shy of a 4R. Now risk must have been fairly dodgy, but yeah, this one here didn't profit me loads. It was kind of like 3 separate positions mixed up. So when I say I scaled in here, there were actually 2 separate positions. The reason why I did this is because the day funded, you need to take 3 trades that don't make up, sorry, I'm saying this wrong. I read a rule basically prior to doing this that you can't have 1 trade make up 30% of your profits. So that's why I split it up into 3 trades. So these positions was like, it's basically on this tap and then a bit probably further down after confirmation. I need to double check, but the same confidences remain the same. We've not only swept inducement here, coming to a POI, we've also taken out a ton of structural liquidity and session liquidity, and then seeing our entry model play out. Now it's very precise on the 1 minute, so it's very tight stop losses, hence why I could extend this one when I realized that I actually hadn't hit it. But it's a very hard trade to manage. A lot of my traders took the same kind of thing from WokeFX, but equally some of them got stopped out here and then some of them entered here and won. So it's kind of like, and some of them realized they didn't hit the POI better than I did. I just didn't enter until we had that confirmation. So it's one of those ones where I'm just being honest, like it wasn't a perfect trade, but it was still a very valid one at that. In terms of, I might as well do a very quick market forecast in terms of where we're at. Price is very awkward because we're actually in between. So 4 hourly is actually bullish. Yeah, bullish. So we've taken out this high and we've retraced and we've caused new highs. But on daily, we're very much still bearish. It just looks like a bullish leg within a bearish structure, and that looks like what we're getting now. So it looks like we are going to get that sell off potentially for tomorrow as well, but we don't know. It's not actually. Obviously nothing's confirmed yet until it happens. All you can really do is react to the markets as to where it gives you to actually trade, matching your criteria. So for me, I'd say this low, so you had this change of character, then retest, then take it out, then come down. This didn't make a new high. Okay, this is a really awkward price action. So this is actually technically, I was actually saying that this was technically the low yesterday, but when you actually look at price, oh, it's really hard to read. Daily is definitely more clear, which is still bearish. So I think, yeah, in terms of my bias, like I am still bearish, especially with the weekly in mind as well. Obviously we're reacting to this area here. I just don't like the amount of wicks we've had, but I guess that's just part of the game. You're not always going to get perfect price action. It's been very hard to read, but it looks like we're finally getting the reaction off of here, potentially cause further movements down now. So yeah, I think potentially for next week I'll probably be bearish. Hopefully there's more, well, I think there's a decent amount of volatility, but we could definitely see more in clear direction. So like here, we obviously had this horrible consolidating period. Then we had the sell-off. Now we've had this like really awkward leg coming up, and now it looks like we're potentially getting sell-off, but I really don't love these kind of equal highs here. I say they're equal, they're very slightly lower, because I could easily see something like this happen, come into this POI, and then get your sell-off. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure as of yet, and I'm not going to say that I am. So yeah, that's pretty much that, and that's it for the video really. In terms of obviously understanding trading, if you're very new to trading, this probably makes no sense. But it's one of those things that like you need to fully understand, and you need to go through the proper process. A lot of people don't watch my videos, but they watch other people's videos, see the lifestyle, see the cool stuff, and they just try and like jump on trading and look at it as a money flip. That's not what this is. This has taken years to get any good at, and you should be doing the same. You should be focusing on the skill set. If you are looking for somewhere decent to learn from me and all the other traders in WokeFX, message at Woke Limited or message me personally on Instagram. Basically, this is where we've created so many six-figure funded traders now. The percentage of results, the percentage of funded traders from people who started is ridiculously high compared to all the other communities I've been in. I think it's the highest. So yeah, results kind of speak for themselves. Heads up though, mentorship will become more and more hard to get, generally just because of how limited my time is, and how many people are starting to join and obviously wanting to be a funded trader and learn from us. So yeah, if you are wanting to join, I'll try and do it as soon as possible, and message me as soon as possible. Cheers guys.